We'll wait a few more minutes before we start.
Hi, how are you? Fine. You know what? I don't even know what day it really is ever. So, you know what? Okay. We'll give him a moment. I would hate to go through all the introductions after this yet. So. But if we get, well, that's good.
We'll go ahead and start. Um, People will still be coming on. I know it's typical. But this session is specifically for those of you who are going to need a virtual internship. Morning, Dr. Keene. Uh, and if you got and actually have a site, and a few people do, then you work with your academic advisor, be that Dr. Brown, Palmer, or Hughes, um, and just follow the internship manual and do it the way we would normally do it. But we've checked all the sites we routinely do internships at, and most of them are still saying it's too soon to take interns on site because of liabilities and other issues until the virus is under control, which and hopefully will be this spring and summer. But for those who are trying to graduate at the end of spring, that's probably not going to help you very much. So we're just going to spend a few minutes to talk about what we do in the virtual internship. We've been doing them summer and fall. So we have some experience with them so far. I'm Dr. Travis, by the way. I'm the unit uh, coordinator for healthcare leadership. And there's Dr. Keene over there. He's the internship supervisor for all the internship programs in the college. So not just our program, but all the others. So we have sort of different levels of roles, but the day-to-day contacts you have will be with usually one of us within the program. Each of you will be assigned to a specific HCL faculty member. I don't know, but there's no rhyme or reason to it. The academic advisors assign students, and they try to keep it equal. Each faculty member will have approximately the same number of students. So the key to all of this is going to be your interaction with the HCO faculty member who is your supervisor for the spring semester. Specific questions and directions both ways will be with that individual. So some of them may pop in here, but I did this on the spur of the moment, so I know people are running around and traveling and doing everything else. But at least, and I'll record this so people can refer to it. And you can go back and look at it yourself if you enjoyed it that much. It's up to you. For now, just for crowd control, if you have a question or a comment, go to the chat room and write me a message, and we will address it step by step, whichever ones are going to talk first. But the way we've structured this internship experience, as it is, we would prefer, obviously, that you be at a site and experience that interaction. But things got complicated sometime back in March or April, and that really hasn't happened too much since then. We do think things are going to start opening up again, maybe in the summer, but for sure we think in the fall. But that won't help some of you because hopefully you'll be graduating before that. So for now, the approach we've taken with the virtual internship is to basically give you, I don't know if we'll call it a research paper, but it will be the development of a comprehensive paper on the origination and effect that COVID-19 has had on Memphis and Shelby County. And right now, there's a track record. We've got a progression across that time. So, David, I'm going to take you off of mute if you need to say anything. If I can find where you are on mute. Or you can take yourself off mute if you want to. Let's see. Seem to be on here. David, are you off mute?
Who are you talking to?
There you go. Yeah, I just wanted you live in case questions come up that you better can address than I can.
Okay.
Okay,
All right.
I'm
And
here.
some of the other faculty are going to try to be on with us, but some may not be. So
I'm here.
do a walkthrough here. So that's basically what we're going to be dealing with, the impact and progression of COVID-19 within our city and county over this period of time. And there has been some differences, and we're pending getting our vaccines started. But we certainly have also had a record of incidents of number of COVID cases and incidents of fatalities from COVID cases over this period of time. What you're going to have to do is some digging, primarily with the Memphis Health Department, at least twice a week, maybe more now, puts out a public meeting and its own video reporting on what happened in this past period. Where are we in terms of incidents and deaths and anything else that we're doing to help stem the virus in our community. There also have been TV and radio and newspaper broadcasts about different components of it. Also, the State of Tennessee Health Department has a website. They too have information. And you're free to go to any source you want to use to derive information that you're going to have to organized, put together in a fairly comprehensive paper that should take you most of the semester to complete. And what we're going to do is everything you'll begin to submit drafts to your faculty member. And you'll know your faculty members pretty soon when we start the semester on the 19th of January, or maybe before that, a little before that. That's who your primary source of contact will be with. But you submit a draft of whatever you're working on. Each faculty member is doing this a little bit differently, but in general, they're all trying to come up with the same general accomplishment. So for you individually, you're going to have to interact quite a bit with your academic supervisor who's in the program. And that's either Dr. Brown, Dr. Palmer, or Dr. Hughes. I'm not teaching the course in the spring. I normally teach it in the summer. So they will be your primary source of information. You're also free to contact me if something comes up and you're puzzled or can't figure it out or something's going on. You can contact me as well. Dr. Keene, when would you like them to contact you?
They can contact me anytime as far as questions go.
I'm just trying to play. I don't want them trying to contact you, trying to contact me, trying to contact their faculty supervisor, same information.
Contact the faculty supervisor first.
Okay.
And
I think
then
that's
it should
wise.
be you.
And if nothing can be resolved, you're sort of the ultimate resolver of issues for the college.
Yeah.
So if you'll understand that progression, it'll make your time used more effectively and ours as well. But sometimes people running around, they don't know what to do, so they call everybody. And they, there's panicking. There's no need to panic. We got lots of time to get this done. But you do have to get started. They're all going to give you a certain progression to go through. But initially, you're going to have to do some background information on what's happening in Memphis and within Shelby County. That's going to be the real hub of where COVID-19, we want you to examine it, look at its pace, and then now we're at a point where we can begin to talk about when do we anticipate that we're going to get vaccines here, who's going to get them. And there's certainly a progression there, who's going to get them. I don't think most of you will be getting them right away. Perhaps I will, I don't know. Maybe so. But I'm waiting to take it. I have no hesitancy, but that's fine. Now, a few of you, this is normally a 6-hour internship. A few of you have qualified for a 3-hour internship because of your experience and background. And you don't just get that because somebody says, hey, I want a 3-hour internship. You have to go through a whole evaluation process with a whole different faculty member outside of our college. And they submit that back to us. We look at it and then we make a determination of, yes, it makes sense. You've had enough healthcare related experience that we'll let you out of 3 hours of the internship. For those, you're going to have to meet with your specific faculty member, remind them that maybe, I don't know, maybe so, that you're in a 3-hour internship. So what that means is they're going to have to pare down what they require of you, at least to some degree, because this would be, if you were doing this on site, you would be then doing 120 hours versus the 6-hour credit course, which is 240 work hours. So this doesn't equate exactly to what you'd be doing at a site, but you may have to still turn in, and they will set the standard for you, whether you turn in work logs bi-weekly. Certainly discussion posts you need to turn in. They may have some other requirements for you, but it's pretty much between you and that individual. One question I had here was, do you need to complete all of your 3,000 to 4,000 courses before you can do the internship? Well, you have to at least begin, you have to be in your senior year. Now, the way we've set up the courses, because Dr. Brown and I created this program in 2013. And we made it sort of, you didn't have to go through the progression like the other programs do. You have to take the 3,000 courses before you take the 4,000s because we're a brand new program. So you can have taken 4,000 level courses and 3,000 level courses when you just start the program. If you want to give that a shot, assuming that the 4,000s are going to be more difficult to complete than the 3,000s, but maybe not. But you have to be a senior, you have to be a beginning senior at least. So if you're a junior and you're moving right in spring to be a senior, you can take an internship at that time. Most people wind up waiting until the very last semester they're in school to take their internship. That works for some. Others it's want to get it out of the way, which is arguably good in some cases. But that you work that out with us. And if we say, we think you need to really take most of the courses before you get to the internship, just so, because what we expect in a normal site is you would have at least enough knowledge from all these courses to apply them in the quote real world setting, be it a hospital or a clinic, a doctor's office, organization like Church Health, Christ Community Health Services, or West Cancer Center. But you can, as long as you are a senior, apply to take your internship. And that's done at Dr. Keene's level, the application for the internship at his level. And also with the academic advisors downstairs in 106, working with you in unison.
Hey, Pat,
Yes, Dave, go ahead.
hey, do you want them taking 3 courses with the internship?
No, it's really a function of what they have left. If they're trying to, usually it's what they're trying to graduate, and they need that many hours to graduate. If you wait until the last semester of your quote senior year, and you discover that you have to take 3 regular courses and the internship, that's going to be a load. That's going to be a case-by-case decision of whether that makes sense to do. And I know there are all kinds of valid reasons why I've got to get through, I've got to go, and that'll be, I guess, figured out. Ideally, you should be taking around 4 courses a semester, unless you've got other issues. Like you had a full-time job, you can only take so many courses a semester to accommodate your job. But then it'll take you longer. Normally, our program takes about 2 years. You normally enter it in your junior year. So junior, senior is what the focus of our concentration is. So there will be exceptions to that. And we will deal with exceptions as they come up as realistically as possible. One individual's asked, do I have to take epidemiology? Well, you need to look at the required courses. That is a required course. There's a whole list of our courses you have to take to graduate. Epidemiology is certainly one. I believe Dr. Palmer teaches that most of the time. So yes, you have to do that. Your academic advisor also should be helping you with, are you missing any courses? What's a track pattern you should come up with to get your courses, all of them done so that you can graduate when you want to. But yeah, it's not best if you've got to take, if you have to take 3 other courses and the internship, it's going to be difficult. Can be done,
Mhm.
but then that's a decision you have to make. And if you don't pass all the courses, then you don't graduate from the program. You have to repeat something. So that's a risk. Um, that's up to you. Well, I'm sorry your advisor, Mrs. Deidre, didn't inform you of this, but and that would be, I assume, one of the advisors downstairs. Uh, I mean, that's normally taken care of with them, not with us. So that's too bad, but that's that. Um, but certainly you can make it clear what your interests are in graduating as soon as possible, fine. But then you have to come up with a plan to get everything done and passed, C or better, and passed before you can graduate. And the internship is a requirement for graduation in our program, and it's one in all the programs in our college. So you can't just say, well, I don't want to do one. Fine, then you don't graduate in this program. You got to transfer somewhere else, which is usually not what people want to do. At least we would not encourage you to do that. Dave, you got any other suggestions, recommendations, questions?
So you guys, your students can take the internship once they're a senior, right?
Say again, Dave.
I said your students can take the internship once they are a senior, right?
Yes, I mean, they can. We built that flexibility into our program that once you're a senior, you can take the internship in the first semester you're a senior, if you choose to. It may be more difficult for you to take it that early, but you can. Most people don't take it the first semester when they get to be a senior. Usually go for second, or they wind up taking it the third semester. And that kind of balances things out. But there are exceptions to that. So, but you shouldn't be asking basic questions like, is epidemiology a required course? That you have to look at what you got to take. There's a list. It's printed out. It's right there on the website in our program. You can get your brochure if you need one. You can walk around and look at it. But they are set number of courses. And we've based our courses on what all the other major universities across the country do for their BS in this program. It's really more healthcare administration than it is leadership. But we combine the two, leadership and healthcare administration, together. So that's what you're trying to achieve.
So then if I can just say something,
Yeah.
the way that it's set up is that you should get most of your, or the majority of your classes done before you do the internship. What I was informed prior to starting this job is that previously we were sending out students that weren't doing very well with their internship because they weren't prepared. And one way to make sure that students are prepared is to get your classes done prior to doing the internship. So now you have some flexibility then with this concentration, but you have to sit down then with either Dr. Travis or your academic advisor and then come up with a plan. You know, we don't want to send you guys out there just to get you done. And this isn't supposed to be just you being slave labor for somebody. You're supposed to be getting something out of it.
Right.
And that you have to be prepared before you do the internship. Because if you go out there and you do a crappy job with someone, that reflects badly on us. And it also makes it more difficult for students that come after you.
And it also, Dave, I might inform them that the internship sites aren't required to keep you. If you're doing a lousy job, they can say, you're going to have to go somewhere else. That's happened a couple of times, which is hard to do once you start a program. That's why we place emphasis on, if you've got problems, let us know right away. And that would be your specific faculty member who you have as a supervisor, academic supervisor while you're in the internship. And Dr. King as well is fine, and me as well if you need to. But yeah, that would be the real risk. It's a risk if you say, hey, I want to do it all in my first semester as a senior. We would advise you not to do that, but if you insist on doing it, then the risk is yours. If you fail something, including the internship, you'd have to repeat it, which most people don't like to do. And maybe financially they can't do it. They've already worked out their plans, know what they can do, and that's fine. But some of the planning you have a responsibility for. We can provide information and advice, but you have to make some decisions yourself. So I agree with Dr. King. Take the approach that you want to do it early before you've taken all or most of your courses is a risk to you, and it's a risk to the program's integrity. Because when we recommend to a site, and we work with these sites all the time, that you're ready to go out there and they see that you're not, and then they start sending us reports or calling us on the phone, which has happened, to say this person's not cutting it. They're not coming on time. They're doing goofy things, not following instructions. That's when you get into trouble. You don't want that. You want to make it as smooth as possible. But internships aren't guaranteed. I mean, you've got to do the work and you're going to get a grade for it. And if you don't do the work sufficiently to get a passing grade, then you'll have to repeat the internship. Doesn't happen very often, but it has happened on rare occasions.
We don't want it to happen at all.
No, you have to work real hard to get into that position, but some people do for any number of reasons, and that's their situation. But we try to avoid that, and we try to work with you. The key is if you've got issues, questions, contact us. Don't sit there and wonder, what should I do? Or ask your friends. That's usually not the best place to get advice on what to do in these kind of situations. Contact your supervisor in our faculty, Dr. King or me, to say, what's going on? How do I handle this problem? If it is a problem, and we'll try to sort it out for you. Our interest is in helping you graduate and go on to your next step, be it going to graduate school or getting a good job, whatever it is, that's our goal as well. So we have no interest in you hanging around 3 or 4 years in our program, just trying to get things done. Good point, though, David. It's not in your best interest to do that unless there are occasions when people have to do it. And those are what we're looking at as exceptions, and you have to get permission to do that. If you're requesting to do it, you'll wind up with probably me and/or Dr. King saying, well, let's walk through this with you and see, does this make sense? Can you go another semester and take some of this load off of you? Because it doesn't do you any good to do everything and then not pass everything. Any other questions? See if I missed any questions here. I don't see any questions. Just going through the chats here, trying to see if I've missed some key points. If I've missed a point, you're more than welcome to send me an email and I will follow up with you. But that's just basically what you're going to be doing in the virtual internship is studying and then writing a comprehensive report that your faculty member will work with you on the structure, the expectation of what they want. It's not going to be any 5-page paper, like how many pages and all this stuff. It's going to be comprehensive, and it should take you most of the semester, if you're doing 6 hours, to complete it and to their satisfaction, because you're going to submit everything to them as drafts. And normally what we do when we get a draft, we look at it and then we send it back with recommendations of, you need more information about this or that.
And then Pat, what did you say about the people that are only doing 3 credit hours as opposed to 6 credit hours?
That's going to be a case by case, only a few. And they're going to have to work that out with their specific faculty supervisor. And I'll be glad to pitch in if I want, but it's going to have to be, I guess, a reduction of what's expected of them in terms of the complexity of what the report's going to be. That's going to be pretty much up to that specific supervisor of what they're anticipating. But you have to do something that's going to, we're looking at trying to make these things equate to what you would have been doing at a site for 6 credit hours, which is a lot of work. And you're working there for, those for the semester, and have to earn and log and justify 240 work hours. Hard to put that on, do that on something like this, we've discovered. And so far, that's the most sensible thing we've come up with for doing our internship, is you are getting an experience in healthcare, and you're seeing how people are handling the data, how they're marketing it, how they're really trying to work with everybody in a very tense time when people are having some very big issues.
Mm-hmm.
All right, seeing not any other real significant questions here. Again, if I missed it, you've got one that you've just got to know, and I didn't get a hold of it, send me back a quick email. Could I go over the virtual internship option again? No, I'm not. We just talked about this for 30 minutes of what it is. It's recorded now. This will take a little while for the recording to take place, and then I will post it to where you can view all of this. But the option for virtual is really if you can't get a site. You can't secure a site, and there are a few that have been secured. I know Methodist had a few that were secured, and then they close off their numbers. They don't, it's not just open-ended. But most of the places we work with, like the VA, the West Cancer Center, Church
Campbell
Health,
Clinic.
they've given us indications that they may do something in the summer, maybe, depending on what's going on with the virus. But they're not going to expose you or expose themselves or their clients or patients to other issues That's what they're dealing with. And this is the big liability for them. So that's why they're saying, no, can't do it. But they want to do it, but they can't do it under these conditions. All right, I'm trying to see if there are any other questions here.
I have one question. Is everybody registered for the semester?
It's a good question. If you're not registered, you just can't take an internship without going through all the approvals at Dr. Keene's level.
Good, I'm seeing a lot of yeses. I know.
If you're not registered, you're not taking an internship.
And then Molly, we're gonna have to talk about that one after the meeting through email. Because there was about 11 people that weren't registered.
Yeah, because, school is basically out now. So we're here, but school is out. But we're still working, and I think the academic advisors are still working at this point. But at a certain point, everything's going to stop until we get near the beginning of the semester in the spring. So that's not something you can't leave to the last minute and say, oh yeah, I'm going to take an internship.
Well, I got a feeling we're gonna have a couple that are gonna figure everything out last minute.
Well, we'll have to deal with them. We may
Yeah,
let them figure it out. We may have to say, no, you've passed. We have to get some deadlines on things because we have to figure out how
Well,
many students there are and assign them and everything else.
that'll be the first day of the semester. That's the goal.
Yeah. That's right. All right. We'll leave it at that. I am recording this. I will post it up to where you can look at it. And if you got any follow-up questions, you can contact me and/or Dr. Keene for now. I don't know who's you're assigned to, what faculty member, because I haven't seen the class list yet. I've requested them, but I don't have them yet. But you will have a specific faculty member who is your supervisor for the internship. It won't be me. So it won't be Dr. Keene. So that's the person you should spend the most time with, not us. We're sort of a fail-safe. But the expectation is you've dealt with your faculty supervisor before you come knocking on our door. All right. All right, I'm gonna call it a day. Thank y'all for being on.
Have a good holiday, Pat.
Yeah, you too. I'll be around.